What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today, where we wrap up our rankings for week 1 of the fantasy football season. I'm going to run through my top 24 quarterbacks. Then I'm going to throw it over to Kyle so he can discuss his tight end rankings for the football kind of tight ends. Of course, got to keep it classy around here. Now, if at the end of this video you find yourself wanting more, like flex rankings, kicker rankings, defense rankings, don't worry, we do those also, but they're a member perk here. So consider hitting the little blue join button just below the video. Not only are you going to get those additional rankings, but you're going to get access to a members only live stream Sunday mornings prior to kickoff. You're also going to get access to Discord. Our Discord is next level. I don't know if you're going to find a better Discord in the entire fantasy football industry. I'm sure there's going to be some members down below in the comment section that will tell you just that. So if you're looking for that little bit of an edge, that little extra content, don't worry, we have you covered there. Just consider becoming a channel member, but let's not waste any more time. Let's head right in to my top 24 quarterbacks for week 1. Now, like I always say in all of our rankings videos, remember, if you're looking for more detailed information, those are over on the start and sit videos that are already on the channel. This is just meant to be a quick run through of the rankings. So at number 1, I got Jalen Hurts, who's going on the road to start the season against the New England Patriots. But it's his rushing ability here early in the season that has really nudged him just above Patrick Mahomes, which is at number 2, but more so because we still don't know at the time of this recording how much, if at all, are we going to have Travis Kelce on the field for this home opener tonight, Thursday Night Football, against the Detroit Lions. Number 3, this is where I have Justin Herbert, because right now it's week 1, and you know I'm going to be feeling fancy. But he's got a matchup at home to start the season against another high-powered offense in the Miami Dolphins. Really excited to see this offense this year. It's new offense with offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Justin Herbert could be in line for some big numbers. Number 4, this is where I have Josh Allen. No, I'm not hating on Josh Allen. No, I'm not sleeping on Josh Allen. He just has a very difficult matchup against one of the league's best defenses on the road to start the season. Number 5, it's Trevor Lawrence. Love the matchup for him going to Indianapolis. The secondary of the Indianapolis Colts may be one of the worst I've seen on paper thus far. Trevor Lawrence should have a heyday with Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley. Number 6 then is Lamar Jackson, who's going to be at home against the Houston Texans. But don't just look at the Houston Texans and think this is some cakewalk. This defense is better than people give it credit for, and now with new head coach DeMeco Ryans, a defensive guy, I actually expect them to take a small step forward once again this year. Then at number 7, this is where I have Justin Fields going to be at home going up against the Green Bay Packers, another guy that can use his legs, and that's why we see all these guys a little bit higher in the rankings, right? That rushing upside is what really makes them fantasy valuable. A lot of people think Justin Fields needs to become the next Tom Brady to be a good quarterback. I'm not judging NFL quarterback play. I'm finding fantasy points, and Justin Fields typically scores them. Number 8 then is going to be Joe Burrow going up against the Cleveland Browns here on the road in Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is pretty freaking solid, and Joe Burrow didn't get many reps this offseason due to a calf strain. Does he start a little bit slow? He's dealt with injuries in the offseason multiple years now in a row. Joe Burrow, if anyone can come out and be in mid-season form, I got him at number 8. Number 9, Big Kirko, Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. A great matchup for him at home against Tampa Bay. Can he really utilize his new weapon in Jordan Addison? That's what I'm really paying attention to here in week 1. Number 10, Geno Smith. He's going up against the Rams at home in Seattle. And this isn't the same old Rams defense. Geno should have himself a solid day. Got him at number 10. 11, Deshaun Watson. Actually got an entire offseason with this offense and really benefits from them adding more weapons to this offense in the pass catching game this offseason. Deshaun Watson at number 11. 12, this is where I have Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins on the road in LA against the Chargers. If I love Justin Herbert's ability to go out there and put up some yards and points, you better believe that Tua is going to have to keep his foot on the pedal and try to keep pace. When you have guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, that's possible, so Tua's at number 12. But then we go down to number 13. This is where I have Jared Goff on the road Thursday Night Football against the Kansas City Chiefs. I expect a whole lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown, but really the X factor here is going to be Jahmyr Gibbs, who they're going to use him all over the field, even in the slot at times, and that big-time playmaking ability only helps Jared Goff. Got him at 13. 14 is Aaron Rodgers, now with the New York Jets. Still weird for me to really say that in a video, but he's playing Monday Night Football at home against the Buffalo Bills. Not an easy matchup whatsoever, and it's going to be prime-time football. Aaron Rodgers is going to want to put on a show, but I'm tempering expectations due to the difficult matchup against Buffalo. 15 then, it's Daniel Jones of the New York Giants. He's going to be at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Another matchup that's going to be difficult for Daniel Jones. But what he did in this matchup last year was really utilize his rushing upside. He doesn't always do it, but this dude is sneaky athletic. He may look like he eats a box of Crayolas before the game, but dude rushed for over 700 yards last year. Got him at 15. 16 is Derek Carr of the New Orleans Saints, now going to be at home against the Tennessee Titans. A great matchup for Derek Carr in week 1. Tennessee couldn't stop anybody through the air last season. We're going to have to see if they can do it this year. 17 is Dak Prescott, going to be on the road against the New York Giants. A lot of pressure on Dak Prescott this offseason to really cut down on the interceptions. Ever since that talk has come up, the dude has done nothing but throw interceptions. Hopefully he's not in his own head. Got him at 17. 18 is Anthony Richardson, the rookie quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, and I do expect him to climb up these rankings as the season goes on. But for the very first game of his NFL career, going up against a playoff team from 2022 with a great offense, I can see a little bit of added pressure this week on Anthony Richardson, so I'm slightly tempering my expectations. Got him at 18. 19, Russell Wilson. Can Russ actually cook in Denver with Sean Payton as his head coach? It sounds like Sean Payton's already going at Russell Wilson and saying, listen, dude, stop kissing the babies, start playing better football. He's going to have a chance to do that at home against the Raiders in week 1. But then we go down to number 20. This is where I have Sam Howell, and a lot of people may be going, why is Sam Howell above some of these other names? Well, it's because he's playing arguably the worst defense in the NFL in the Arizona Cardinals, and he's going to be at home. We still don't know whether or not he's going to have Terry McLaurin or not, but honestly, with the weapons he still has on this roster, he may not even need him to have a solid day. Another guy that can use his legs. Got him at number 20. 21, Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. Full disclosure, I had Jordan Love right up around 17. And then yesterday's news broke that both Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson were on the injury report with a hamstring injury, and that's something we really need to pay close attention to. Jordan Love needs more weapons than just Jaden Reed and a couple of rookie tight ends, so right now he's at 21. 22 is Kenny Pickett, a very difficult matchup for him to start the season against the San Francisco 49ers. He has plenty of playmakers, but he also has an improved offensive line and a great running game. I don't expect huge numbers this week against this difficult defense. He's at 22. 23, his opponent in that game, Brock Do-em Dirty Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers. A very difficult matchup for Brock as well. This Pittsburgh defense is going to be pretty freaking good. We get to find out early in the season if the magic that we saw at the end of 2022 was real, or was it just kind of a one-hit wonder. Brock Purdy going to try to prove himself here in week 1. And then lastly at 24, this is where I got Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people just went ugh when I said that name, but it's a great matchup on the road in Minnesota. Another defense that's not really ideal at stopping the pass. Baker Mayfield does have Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, and I expect Minnesota to get a lead early in this game, which means he's going to have to throw for all 4 quarters. I got Baker Mayfield at 24. But there you have it, my top 24 quarterbacks for week 1 fantasy football. But no, the show is not over. Now we throw it over to Kyle so he can talk about tight ends, the football kind.
Yo, Headliner Nation, if the tight end position couldn't get any worse, we find out this week Travis Kelce probably not even playing. George Kittle wasn't looking good, then returned to practice, but we still don't know. We've got a lot to dive into in this rankings episode, so let's go ahead and get into it right now. We're going to talk about my top 18 tight ends, and then I've got a few guys that are just on the outside looking in. Now, with no Travis Kelce this week, we're going to go with TJ Hawkinson, number 1, going up against Tampa Bay. I do believe that he is probably the safest tight end that you could possibly roll with right now. And number 2, I'm going with Mark Andrews going up against Houston. There is a possibility that we see a larger passing attack from Baltimore this season. And if we do, Mark Andrews, even with the added weapons around Lamar Jackson, will probably benefit the most, still hopefully being at least the number 2 target there in that offense. Going to be some big games for him. At number 3, Darren Waller going up against Dallas. Now, this is a tougher matchup in my opinion, but Darren Waller may be the only guy that Daniel Jones can trust to actually target. So just based on that alone, we're putting Darren Waller at number 3 for potential target value. At number 4, Dallas Goedert going up against New England. Dallas Goedert is a guy that I'm really paying attention to this week. Last season, before he went down with his injury, he was the number 2 in this offense behind A.J. Brown. Brown. Does that continue this season? At number 5, George Kittle going up against Pittsburgh. Now with George Kittle, if he doesn't practice, obviously you just take him out of the rankings. But as of this recording, he was back at practice and he was trending towards playing this Sunday. Keep a very, very close eye on it though. At number 6, Tyler Higbee. I like Tyler Higbee as one of the safest tight end options that you can get this week. Now, does he have some of the upside as the other tight ends? Potentially no. But even with that being said, with no Cooper Kupp this week, Tyler Higbee is going to see a ton of target. Now, I am going to draw a quick line after number 6 here before we transition to let you know that if you have Travis Kelce on your team, as of this recording, he still has not been ruled out for Thursday Night Football. You have a couple of decisions to make. If you own any of these top 6 guys and Travis Kelce, don't play Travis Kelce if they end up coming back and saying, all right, he's actually going to be going this week. Now, if he doesn't play, you're fine. If you own any of the guys under number 6 coming up here, it is completely up to you whether you want to risk it with Travis Kelce or risk it with one of these guys. It's a tough call to make. I understand that. But these top 6 guys are the only ones that I definitely would play over Travis Kelce if Travis Kelce is said to be in tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on that through the day. I'll pin a comment if we find out any more information. Let's go ahead and head on to number 7, though. Kyle Pitts going up against Carolina. He should still see hopefully a decent amount of targets, but my hope is even if he loses targets to guys like Drake London, Cordero Patterson, heavy running game, all of that stuff combined, that we see some better efficiency from Kyle Pitts and he doesn't have to be the number 1. I think that would be the best thing for him. At number 8, Evan Ingram going up against Indianapolis definitely has the big play potential, but we're going to have to keep an eye on how this offense looks and how targets are distributed with Calvin Ridley being there now. That's why I've got him a little bit lower because there is some risk not knowing exactly if he'll be the 2 or if he'll be the 3 and what may happen there. David Njoku at number 9 going up against Cincinnati. A lot of touchdown potential here for David Njoku, but really that's the only thing that I'm hoping for with David Njoku right now. No guarantee on volume. Obviously Elijah Moore, he can end up having a decent impact. You still have Donovan Peoples-Jones. You still have Amari Cooper. Going to be running the football with Nick Chubb. Volume might not be there. Touchdown upside will continue to be there, though. Pat Freiermuth at number 10. This is an extremely tough matchup against San Francisco. That's why I've got him lower. All the way up to number 11 for me is Luke Musgrave going up against Chicago. With injuries to Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, there could be a lot of targets for Luke Musgrave this week. Now, I don't want to overhype it, but I am definitely throwing him into my top 12, fully knowing that if those 2 guys miss, there is double-digit target opportunity for Luke Musgrave this week. Sam Laporta at number 12, definitely feel like he could be in the 5 to 6 target range with some potential touchdown upside this week just because it's at Kansas City. They're going to have to be throwing the ball quite a bit. Sam Laporta, until Jamison Williams gets back, has a really good opportunity to at least be the number 3 behind Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. At number 13, Cole Kmet. One of the things I continue to worry about with him is his volume, but we know if they make it into the red zone, he is absolutely a guy that is going to be looked at from Justin Fields consistently. My only question is, how often do they get into the red zone? Dalton Kincaid, this is a really, really tough matchup, but I'm still going to put him at 14 because the matchups on the outside could be a little bit tougher than Dalton Kincaid in the slot. And if that turns out to be true, Kincaid could see some targets come his way this week, knowing that Stephon Diggs might be locked down by Sauce and that just overall with Gabe Davis on the other side, the passing game isn't going to be as strong as they would like. At number 15, we've got Juwan Johnson. I'd love to go higher with him, but really it's all about the touchdowns right now. We've got basically 3 tight ends that we're going to be mixing in and out of the tight end position. Taysom Hill listed as a quarterback. How often does he end up actually lining up as a tight end? We have no idea. My boy Chiggy Oko from Tennessee going up against New Orleans. Touchdown upside is the hope for him as well. He loses some of that potential volume with DeAndre Hopkins in town now, but we'll see what happens. And I also think Derrick Henry is going to run wild on New Orleans. Dalton Schultz at number 17. He's not a guy that I love with a lot of upside against Baltimore, but he could definitely see a few targets if he becomes that safety blanket for CJ Stroud. Jake Ferguson going up against the New York Giants at number 18. Now, I've heard a lot about Jake Ferguson in the comment section of my start and sit video for tight ends. Lots of people saying, dude, you're disrespecting Jake Ferguson. I understand why you like Jake Ferguson, but keep in mind that Dalton Schultz over the last couple of years hasn't had as much, we'll say, wide receiver competition as what Jake Ferguson may have this year. The Dallas Cowboys have also made comments about wanting to run the football a little bit more, so we have to keep that also in mind. But this year, since they've added Brandon Cooks, you still have CeeDee Lamb. And now that Michael Gallup is coming off an offseason in which he was fully healthy and had the opportunity to work out and really get himself in football shape prior to the season beginning, Jake Ferguson, I don't think is the lock that some of you believe he is. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to put him inside my top 18, but there's still a lot of questions about what his role in the offense will be. All right, that's my top 18, but I've got 4 guys that are just on the outside looking in because I just don't love them this week. Gerald Everett is the first one. I know a lot of people want to love Gerald Everett, and I get it. But Gerald Everett isn't going to be dealing in week 1 with the same opportunity that he was dealing with last season when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were both hurt, and they didn't really have a whole lot of receiving options to step up. Keenan Allen is back. Mike Williams is back. You drafted Quentin Johnson. You still have Joshua Palmer. You still have Austin Eckler. Gerald Everett just is not a safe option for me. Hayden Hurst, really love his potential for safety value with Bryce Young there. But again, who is Bryce Young really going to go to? He loved Jonathan Mingo, and he loved Adam Thielen in the preseason, and we know that they're still going to run the football with Miles Sanders. Hunter Henry, I would love to put Hunter Henry inside my top 18, but I definitely think it could be a little bit of a slow start to the season against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then Irv Smith Jr. going up against Cleveland. The touchdown upside is absolutely going to be there for him this week, even if we don't see a ton of the volume upside that we would like. Yo, Headliner Nation, there you have it. Jake and I breaking down our quarterback and tight end rankings for you this week. Don't forget, if you haven't become a member yet, please think about doing it in this video. You're gonna get some extra perks, and I definitely believe you're gonna love the opportunity that you'll have being an exclusive part of Headliner Nation. I'm gonna get out of here though for Jake and myself and the rest of the team. Thank you all for watching the videos this week. Don't forget about our live streams on Saturday night. Peace out, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next episode of the Fantasy Headliners.